You didn't come across this video by accident, and deep down, you already know that. Something has been happening to you at night. Something you haven't been able to explain to anyone. Not your closest friend, not your family, not even yourself. You wake up in the middle of the night with your heart pounding and the room feels different, heavy, like something was just there, like something was watching you. And the terrifying part isn't the dream itself. The terrifying part is, it felt real. Not dream real, real. And here is what nobody is telling you. What most pastors won't say from the pulpit, what most Christians are too afraid to admit. God has been trying to reach you, not through a sermon, not through a worship song, through your sleep, through the one moment every single day when your defenses are completely down and your spirit is fully exposed. But here is the danger. Not every message you receive in the night is from heaven. Some are, and some are not. And if you cannot tell the difference, that silence could cost you everything. Stay with me, because by the time this video ends, you will never close your eyes the same way again. Let's start with the dream that unsettles people the most, the one that makes grown adults sleep with the lights on, the one nobody wants to talk about, because even describing it out loud makes the air in the room feel thick. You are in your dream. Everything looks normal, and then it hits you. Something is watching you, not a person, not an animal, something. You cannot see it, you cannot name it, but every nerve in your body is screaming that it is there, observing you, measuring you, studying you like you are something significant, and you wake up gasping. Now let me ask you something, and I need you to sit with this question. Why would something invisible take that much interest in you? Because here is the truth that will shift everything you think you know about that dream. You are not being watched because you are weak. You are being watched because something in the spirit realm has recognized what you have not yet accepted about yourself. Your anointing, your assignment, the weight of what God placed inside of you before you were even born. Job 7:14 says God scares him with dreams and terrifies him with visions, not to destroy him, to wake him up. And Psalm 139 says, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me." But here is what that dream is really exposing. There are two kinds of watching happening over your life right now. Heaven is watching your growth, and hell is studying your weakness. Both have noticed you. Both are paying attention. The question, the terrifying, urgent, cannot ignore it question, is which one sent you that dream? And how would you even know? Because if you cannot discern the source of what visits you at night, you are spiritually vulnerable in ways that are dangerous. And that is exactly what we are about to unpack. But first, the next dream. Because this one does not just watch you, it visits you, and it wears a face you recognize. Has someone who passed away ever visited you in a dream so real that when you woke up, you cried? Not because it was sad, but because it felt like they were actually there. You could feel their presence. Maybe they spoke to you. Maybe they just looked at you with an expression that carried more meaning than any words could hold. And when you opened your eyes, the grief hit you all over again. Fresh, raw, like losing them twice. I need to tell you something about that dream that nobody prepared you for. God is deeply intentional. He does not waste moments. And he certainly does not use grief carelessly. So when a person you loved, someone who is gone, appears in your dream with that kind of weight and clarity, you cannot afford to dismiss it as your emotions processing loss. Numbers 12:6. When there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, reveal myself to them in visions. I speak to them in dreams. God has always used dreams as a delivery system for divine messages. Always. And sometimes, the face he chooses to use is the one your heart will actually stop and listen to. But here is where this gets dangerous. Not every familiar face in a dream comes from a clean source. The enemy is not creative, but he is strategic. And he knows exactly which face will make you drop your guard completely, which voice will make you stop questioning and just believe. So how do you know if that visit was heaven reaching you through grief? or a counterfeit designed to detour your destiny? Here is the test. And pay close attention because this will protect you. When you wake up from that dream, what does it leave behind? If it left peace, even through tears, that is the fingerprint of God. If it left confusion, obsession, or a pull toward fear, something else sent it, because heaven always leaves evidence of itself. And so does the enemy. But what if the message in that dream was urgent? What if someone from your bloodline visited you carrying a warning about your family, about a generational curse that has not been broken yet? What happens when you ignore that? The next dream answers that question in a way that will shake you. You are falling, not slowly, not gracefully. You are in free fall. The ground is rushing toward you at terrifying speed, and every part of your mind is bracing for the impact. And then you wake up, heart slamming, breath gone, body trembling, and you think, it was just a dream. But was it? Because here is what nobody told you about falling dreams. The fall is not the message. The free fall is. Think about the last season of your life. Be honest with yourself right now. Have you been losing your grip on something? A relationship that is slipping? A faith that used to be fire and now barely feels like a flicker? A calling you were so sure about 2 years ago that you are now afraid to even speak out loud? Control over something that is slowly pulling out of your hands no matter how tight you hold on. The free fall in that dream is the mirror of what is happening in your spirit. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. And this is where people get this dream completely wrong. They wake up terrified. They Google what falling dreams mean. They ask their friends, and everyone tells them, "Oh, that is just stress. That is just anxiety." No, that falling dream is God stripping something from you, not to destroy you, to save you, because what you are losing your grip on, He never intended for you to carry alone in the first place. But here is the part that should genuinely frighten you. What happens to the people who never let go? What happens to the Christian who keeps white-knuckling a life that God has already moved on from? Who keeps holding on to relationships, positions, and old versions of themselves that heaven has already closed the door on? They hit the ground, and some of them never recover spiritually. So the next time you are falling in a dream, before you wake up in panic, ask yourself this one question. What is God trying to take from me that I keep refusing to release? Because the fall is not your punishment. The fall is your invitation. But the next dream, this one is not about what you are losing. This one is about what God is building inside of you, and it will terrify you for a completely different reason. You are holding a baby in your dream, and the moment you feel the weight of that child in your arms, something shifts inside of you, a fierce, overwhelming, almost violent need to protect it. And you look around and something is coming for it. Something is trying to take it. And the terror you feel in that dream is unlike anything else, because it is not fear for yourself. It is fear for something sacred that was placed in your hands. When you wake up from that dream, your arms might even feel empty. Now let me tell you what that baby actually is. Because this has nothing to do with pregnancy or children in the natural. That baby is your assignment, your God-given purpose, the thing He deposited in you before the foundations of the earth. Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. That dream is God showing you that what He placed inside of you is alive. It is real, it is growing, and it is vulnerable. But here is the question that should keep you awake tonight. Are you protecting it? Or have you been so consumed by life, by bills, by pain, by disappointment, by the opinions of people who were never assigned to your destiny, that you have been neglecting the very thing heaven is counting on you to carry? Because a neglected calling does not just stall. It cries, it weakens, and if left long enough, it goes silent. And the enemy knows this. He does not need to destroy you to stop your purpose. He just needs to keep you distracted long enough for what God birthed in you to be starved of attention. So when was the last time you fed what God placed in your hands? But wait, because the next dream does not show you what you are carrying. The next dream shows you who is trying to steal it, and the face you see might be the last one you expected. You have had this dream more than once. That is the first thing I need you to notice, because a dream that keeps returning is not a coincidence. It is a pursuit. Something is trying to make sure you receive a message you have been ignoring. There is a snake in your dream. Maybe it bit you. Maybe it was coiled somewhere close, watching you, waiting. Maybe someone you love was holding it and they did not even seem to notice. And you woke up with a feeling that something is very, very wrong. Genesis 3. The serpent did not appear loudly. It did not announce itself. It moved quietly. It spoke smoothly. It positioned itself so close to the woman that she never questioned whether it belonged there. That is the serpent's strategy. Then, now, in your life today. So let me ask you something uncomfortable. Is there someone in your life right now who has access to your most vulnerable places? Your home, your thoughts, your prayer life, your plans? Who has never fully sat right in your spirit? Someone you have made excuses for? Someone you have told yourself you are just being paranoid about? That recurring snake dream might be God's final warning before the bite comes. And here is what makes this dream so specifically dangerous for chosen people. The snake in your life does not look like an enemy. It looks like a friend. It sounds like support. It brings gifts. It stays close. Because the enemy does not waste his best weapons on people who are not a threat. He sends the serpent specifically to the ones carrying purpose. Now, what if you killed the snake in the dream? What does that mean? That means a battle has already been won in the spirit that your natural eyes have not seen yet. That means God's hand moved on your behalf in a realm you cannot access with your flesh. That means deliverance is already in motion. But what if the snake escaped? What if it slithered away before you could stop it? That means the threat is still present, still hidden, still waiting. And the question you cannot afford to ignore is, what are you going to do about it? Because the next dream shifts the entire atmosphere. It does not warn you about who is around you. It reveals what God is about to open for you. And the timing of that dream in your life is not random. There is a door in your dream. Maybe a hallway. Maybe a room you have never seen in the natural but feels deeply familiar in your spirit. And something about it pulls at you in a way you cannot explain even after you wake up. You think about that door during the day. You cannot shake it. It follows you. That is not a coincidence. That is a divine appointment encoded in a dream. Revelation 3:8. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. God uses doors in dreams to communicate what He is about to do in your life, but only to the ones whose spirits are awake enough to receive it. And the detail of that door matters more than you realize. If the door was open, do not get comfortable. An open door is not just access. It is an assignment. And that assignment comes with a weight, a warfare, and a responsibility most people are not prepared for. Because what is behind that open door is everything you prayed for, but it will require a version of you that does not exist yet. Are you becoming that person? If the door was locked, listen carefully. That is not rejection. That is protection. Because the God who loves you enough to die for you loves you too much to let you walk into a season before you are equipped to survive it. The locked door is mercy wearing the mask of disappointment. But what if the door was broken, forced open, damaged? That is a breach. That is a spiritual security alert. Something or someone has been attempting to access what God reserved for you, through manipulation, through witchcraft, through betrayal. And that dream is heaven's alarm system going off in your sleep. And here is the question that will cut you deeply if you sit with it honestly. Are you standing in front of the door God opened, too afraid to walk through it? Because sometimes the greatest enemy of your destiny is not the devil. Sometimes it is your own unbelief wearing the clothes of wisdom. The next dream is the one that will confirm everything. Because this one does not show you a warning. This one shows you a confirmation. And when you hear it, You will understand why your life has felt the way it has. Nobody talks about this one the way they should. You are flying in your dream, not falling, not sinking, rising, and the feeling, there is nothing like it. Complete freedom, complete clarity, a perspective from above that makes everything that looked impossible from the ground suddenly look small and manageable, and you wake up and the weight of real life crashes back on you instantly. And something in your chest aches because you want to go back. That dream is not your imagination giving you an escape. That dream is a prophetic preview. Isaiah 40:31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. God gave you that dream to show you where you are going, to show you the altitude He designed for your life, to let your spirit taste the freedom of your full purpose, so that when the warfare comes, when the delays stretch long, when the enemy whispers that you will never make it, your spirit can say, I have already seen where I am going. But here is what is deeply important about this dream. Flying dreams do not come to everyone. They come to specific people, people who are in a spiritual transition so significant that God needed to give them a vision of the destination before the journey dismantled them. You saw yourself flying because the next season of your life is going to require you to leave the ground completely, to leave behind the familiar, the comfortable, the people who can only see what is in front of them. And here is what should shake you about that. Every person God ever called to fly first had to let go of the ground. Abraham left everything. Joseph was thrown in a pit before he reached the palace. David was overlooked before he was anointed. Paul was blinded before he could truly see. What is God asking you to release right now so you can rise? Because you did not dream about flying because your life is going well. You dreamed about flying because God is preparing you for a season that is going to take everything you have, and then give you back more than you can currently imagine. But you have to move. You have to obey. You have to trust the one who gave you the dream more than you trust the fear that is trying to keep you on the ground. Let me bring this home. And I need you to stay with me for these final moments because this is the part that matters most. You did not stumble onto this video. You were directed here by a God who has been speaking to you in the night, quietly, persistently, with the patience of a father who refuses to give up on a child who keeps sleeping through the alarm. Every dream we unpack today, the watching, the visitor, the fall, the baby, the serpent, the door, the flight, they are not random. They are not anxiety. They are not your brain processing the day. They are messages, urgent, personal, specifically designed for the assignment on your life. And here is the question I will leave burning in your chest. What have you been doing with the messages God sends you while you sleep? Have you been waking up and scrolling, moving on, explaining it away? Or have you been doing what the chosen do, sitting with it, praying over it, testing it against the Word of God, and responding with obedience? Because here is the sobering truth. God will not keep sending messages to an address that never responds. Daniel responded to his dreams. Joseph responded to his dreams, and God used both of them to shift the direction of entire nations. What could God shift through you if you finally started responding? Tonight, before you sleep, do not just lie down. Position yourself. Pray over your rest. Tell God, "Speak, Lord, I am listening. Whatever you show me tonight, give me the wisdom to understand it and the courage to obey it." Because the chosen are not just dreamers. The chosen are receivers, interpreters, responders. And you, watching this right now, you are one of them. Now drop in the comments right now and type, "Lord, speak to me while I sleep," and watch what God does in your next dream. Because when His people respond, heaven moves. Share this video with someone who has been having strange dreams and does not know what they mean. They were sent here just like you were. And subscribe, because what is coming next on this channel will go even deeper, and you do not want to miss it. This is not just content. This is a word, and it was meant for you.